Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Log Show here on YouTube. How is everyone doing today? Starting a little late. I am starting a little late. I know. It's 3:30. Logan, what are you doing? You usually go live at 2 every Tuesday. You're supposed to be there. I had to work this morning. I apologize for being late, guys, but I'm here now. It is okay. And we have so much to talk about. Top of the show is going to be easy. The question holds, will Conor McGregor ever fight again after UFC 329? Such a disappointing outing. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about what's next for Paddy Pimblett after his spectacular win against Benoit Saint-Denis in the co-main event, as well as the rest of that event. I did want to talk about Gable Steveson. Shout out. Gets his first round knockout in his UFC debut. But also, I've been working a lot. I've worked the past 3 days, and I missed that fight on Saturday, and I have not had time to sit down and watch the fight. So it would be stupid of me to sit here and break down a fight that, I didn't fully watch. I haven't watched it yet. So I don't know how good he did. I just know that he won. That's all I know. But shout out Gable Steveson getting that win there. Not only that, Home Run Derby was last night. Anybody tune in to Home Run Derby last night? That was fun to watch. I love the new format, so we'll talk about the Derby, how the Philly crowd was, Ben Rice's disappointing performance, as we have the All-Star break in the MLB. So it's kind of a low period in sports. Thankfully, UFC 329 did just happen, so I could sit here and break down UFC 329 if I really, 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 really want to. So, that's what we're going to mostly be talking about is UFC, because Home Run Derby and UFC, that's a fun day. That's a fun day to me. So, starting with Conor. Will Conor McGregor ever fight again? Will Conor McGregor ever fight again? That is the question that now beholds us all after UFC 329. When Conor McGregor goes out there and realistically, in 5 seconds, blows his knee out, after the last time we saw him in an octagon blow his knee out, are we not now questioning if he can fight? I think everybody is, including himself. And I think the first thing that a lot of people talked about, if you guys watch, like, MMA Guru, I'm a big fan of him. Those types of guys. If you guys watch those types of guys, you will see that Conor McGregor, in that walkout, the first thing that everyone talked about after that fight, Conor McGregor in his walkout did not look confident. MMA Guru was talking about it. Chael Sonnen was talking about it. Conor didn't look like, waving the arms, doing his whole thing. He almost looked nervous coming out. And as much as the coaches will come out and say, and Conor will come out and say that he was completely ready and completely healthy before the fight, the question may have to ask you, was Conor completely healthy before the fight? Was Conor mentally there in the fight to be able to return again like he says he wants to do? I don't necessarily know if that's a possibility. And this is coming from somebody who, when I heard the Foggy Dews again, I said it the week leading up to it everywhere anybody saw me. When the Foggy Dews hit on Saturday night, I was already at that point, until we were watching the press conferences of UFC 329, under the impression that Conor McGregor was never going to fight again. It's that simple. I was so under the impression that Conor McGregor, we were never going to see Conor McGregor knocked on again. And then all of this happened, and here we are. Conor McGregor's back. The Foggy Dews hit right into Notorious. I felt like a kid again, man. I felt like 2016 all over. Black Ops 2 is out. Watching my brother play Black Ops 2, playing it myself. Conor's coming out. McGregor's coming out. And it just felt like magic could happen. I'm going to be honest, it did. It felt like magic could happen. And then you saw the demeanor on his face. And the hype of the music got to me. But when I look back at it, looking at the demeanor of his face, that wasn't the Conor that I remember. The one of ultra confidence. It was the one that, yes, was maybe going out there and had a lack of confidence because he had to prove something to himself, but there was something going on in his head. That's the only way I can put it, is there was something going on in the head of Conor McGregor while he was walking out against Max Holloway. While he was walking out against Max, there's 100%. So when we go back to the question of will Conor McGregor ever fight again, as much as he's getting surgery and aims to, I don't know if we ever see Conor McGregor in a fight again, and definitely not a meaningful fight again. Last time we saw Conor McGregor in a ring, he got his toe caught in the octagon, he blew his knee out. Then 5 years later, after all of the ups and downs and court cases and this and that and fighting Michael Chandler, not fighting Michael Chandler, you now had an opportunity to get back. And I just don't know if you wanted to. I don't know. Like, it's hard for me not to believe. It's hard for me not to believe that Conor McGregor, he's addicted to the limelight. Conor McGregor came out here and fought Max Holloway because he wanted the attention of fighting Max Holloway. He didn't want to fight again necessarily. And that is what's so disappointing about it, as someone who is such a diehard Conor McGregor fan, or was at least. I'm not saying before this fight. I'm saying I was a diehard Conor McGregor fan until, obviously all the disgusting things that he has done and become a criminal. I condemn all of that. I was such a huge Conor McGregor fan, and to see him come out again, part of me was excited. I can't lie about that. But Conor's he's never fighting again. His brain wasn't in it. He wanted it for the money, for the lights. He wanted the girls back. That's what he wanted back. He didn't want to be back in the octagon, and you saw it on his face when he walked out against Max Holloway. And the tragic part is that he blew out his knee. That's the tragic part. The tragic part is that Conor McGregor came out here and had everybody so excited. And he blows out his knee? Like, man. I know how Jets fans feel now after Aaron Rodgers blew out his knee. Like that's what happens? You throw a jumping switch kick, and don't get me wrong. For everybody out there that's saying that Conor McGregor is crazy for throwing a jumping kick out of the gate, go back and watch any of Conor McGregor's fights. Conor McGregor very often threw out a kick or a jumping switch kick to start fights. It was a very often thing, or some crazy erratic strike was something that Conor McGregor was known to do to start his fights. He wanted to get you off your game to start the fight. And it's just such a disappointing ending. And Max Holloway reacted appropriately. He didn't want to beat up a wounded dog, as he said. And that's the way you go about it when you have the respect for where you have the respect for the UFC fighter that Conor McGregor is. You want to beat him the right way. You want to knock him out like Holloway should have. But you didn't get that. You got whatever happened in the UFC octagon on Saturday night, which was hands down the largest disappointment in UFC history. Dana White said it. That was the largest gate ever in UFC history. And you go from the largest gate ever, and that's how your main event ends? That's how your main event ends? Largest gate ever? Largest gate ever? I don't know how you argue that. Or argue against what I lost what I was saying there. That didn't make sense. What I meant to say there was I don't know how you argue against the fact that that is not the most disappointing moment in UFC history. I can't even think of something that compares to that. I can't even think of something that compares to that. There's embarrassing, and a lot of embarrassing is, non-main event events. But that was just disappointing and sad. And I hate that that's the way that I truly believe that that's the last of Conor McGregor that we'll ever see. That's the last memory we're going to have of Conor McGregor. And it's so disappointing to feel that way. It's so disappointing to feel that way, that is the last thing we ever get to see of the notorious, the one, the only Conor McGregor, is you blow out your goddamn knee? Do I hope he fights again? Part of me does. But part of me also doesn't. Because I don't want to feel that again. I don't believe that he won't do it again. And there's got to be people around him that look at him and go, hey, buddy, you got a family, you got a wife, you got kids, you've settled down, you've gone, people say he's gone to God. You've turned around to at least be a decent human to the piece of shit that he was. Maybe we just take a step back and we don't go back into the limelight and we let it die out. Maybe that's the thing you got to do, Conor. Because that can't happen again. That can't happen again. It cannot. It was just so disappointing. And after such a great card too, if I'm going to be honest. After such a great UFC 239 that, like I said, that had a lot of people were talking about the Gable-Stevenson fight. You had the Paddy Pimblett fight. You had, the King Green knockout against Terrence McKinney. You had such a good card. Such a good card. You didn't land a single strike. You technically didn't land a single strike, Conor. After so many good fights, you had the Corey Mario Batista fight. That one was good as well. That one went to decision. Royval went to decision. Like I said, the co-main event with Paddy. Bobby Green's knockout. It's just so sad. And talking about the co-main event, Paddy Pimblett. Oh, Paddy the body. Oh, Paddy the body. Oh, Paddy the body. Oh, my God. I've never seen a choke like that before, my man. I have never in my entire life seen a man in such a position that I saw Benoit Saint-Denis getting choked out in by Paddy Pimblett on Saturday night. It was something of, it's funny that I talked about it, that Benoit Saint-Denis, I said the word that this dude is a killer. You know what I mean? This dude worked for the French Special Forces. Like, this dude was trained to kill. Paddy Pimblett looked like he was about to kill him. Paddy Pimblett looked like he was about to kill him. With the ill-advised shot, exactly how Paddy predicted it as well. If you guys had watched, any of the pre-fight press conferences, pre-fight interviews, Paddy said, I honestly think he's going to he's going to shoot once in this fight, early in this fight. He's going to make a dumb decision and shoot, and I'm going to pull guillotine. I'm going to put him to sleep. He said that. He called that out. And he puts him in that Darce choke. Bro, when I saw him get the legs up, oh my God. When I saw him get the legs butterflied on his back, oh, bro. Oh my God. Like, I can't get over just like Benoit face down on the canvas with Paddy practically sitting on him, both heels on his shoulders. The immense amount of pressure that was on Benoit Saint Denis' neck had to have been like, bro, he had to have been out in seconds. He had to have been put unconscious in seconds. That was the nastiest choke that I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's putting Paddy Pimblett in a spot where like I have the UFC rankings pulled up right now. It's looking like, where is he? How did I lose Paddy? I just had him. Wait, what? Hold on, what? Oh, all right, never mind. I was looking at lightweight. I didn't see his name. I was like, he got to be. Bro, they threw him at 5. Give him Max. That's what's next for Paddy Pimblett. Max just had that disappointing ending of that. Give him Max. Maybe Charles. Maybe Charles. Those would be two. Those are the two names. All right, when I ask the question now after seeing the choke of Paddy Pimblett, which is what is next for Paddy Pimblett? What is that next point for Paddy Pimblett? Who is he? Who does the UFC look to match Paddy Pimblett up after that dominant, impressive performance? Championship level performance. I think Gaethje gets a rematch. I think Topuria gets a rematch against Gaethje. As much as Gaethje broke his face, I think Gaethje wants to run it back against Max as well. But, I'm looking at this. They throw Paddy Pimblett at 5 in the rankings here. You have Max, Charles, Arman, Ilya above him, and then obviously Justin is the champion. Paddy Pimblett versus Charles Oliveira? Does anybody not like the sound of that? I don't see how you don't like Paddy Pimblett versus Charles Oliveira. You know what I mean? You got Do Bronx on he's won back-to-back fights. His last loss was against that knockout against Ilya. He's coming off the win against Max. I think Max kind of maybe waits a little bit. I don't know how soon we see Max Holloway again. Maybe it's Paddy Pimblett versus Max Holloway as well. But I really like the idea of Paddy Pimblett versus Charles Oliveira. I think I like that idea a lot more. I think that on paper is a main event for a numbered card or a co-main event for a numbered card, putting Paddy in another co, would be absolutely so riveting and exciting to watch. You have one of the biggest up-and-comers right now in Paddy Pimblett, who is coming off this dominant Darce choke on Benoit Saint Denis in less than a minute. It was literally Benoit Saint Denis clipped him for like, I want to say a few seconds, maybe landed a few punches, and then just went for that takedown. Paddy flips into the guillotine. He's starting to get it. It's not as tight. And then Benoit Saint Denis kind of tries to scramble out of it and flip over. And because of the way Paddy just is skillful and kind of maybe, you can even argue was baiting Benoit into that movement. Benoit moves right into this part, and he locks it in as the Darce choke, like above his. I don't know exactly how you lock in a Darce choke with your hands. I haven't trained in jiu-jitsu, but pretty much it's a upwards choke. I'm pretty sure somewhat like, I don't know. I don't know exactly how the hands are locked on the Darce. I just know it's an upward choke where he's facing up. You're trying to get your chest flat on the mat. It's a pressure from the forearm down to the neck. I just don't know exactly how the grip is. I should look into that. I really want to train, but yeah, just like that's what I'm saying. And usually in a Darce choke, you try to get that chest flat, and instead of doing that, when Benoit Saint Denis kind of flipped over again, and his chest was now flat, Paddy kind of had him like this, and he puts his two heels. He puts his two heels right on top of his shoulder blade, and I know I'm repeating myself there, but as I was getting to before, you have Paddy coming off that dominant performance and that magnificent Darce choke, one of the biggest up-and-comers in the UFC. He lost to Gaethje last time, but since then he's come out. Gaethje's won the he lost to Gaethje, come out, win the championship, or Gaethje's won the championship, and to fight Charles Oliveira, where, I just said his fight history. Charles Oliveira is an absolute legend, a former champion of the division, a certified UFC Hall of Famer. I think that is 110% where the UFC needs to go next, is go to Paddy Pimblett versus Charles Oliveira. Winner of that fights Gaethje off a title defense. If they have to do a trilogy or bounce around that top 5 and rotate them for a little bit, but I would love the idea of that fight. I love it. I love it so much. The rest of the card was also so exciting. The Bobby Green fight, man, that one hurt my wallet, my betting wallet real bad, man. Terrence McKinley was piecing up Bobby Green for a while, but you cannot count that guy out, bro. You cannot count out King Green. That man just didn't die. Just couldn't die. And at the end of the first round, right before the buzzer, clips McKinley, finishes him, continues his fight win streak. And I didn't think that Bobby Green at this age would be performing like this, but he is doing absolutely amazing. Shout out Bobby Green, man. The Mario Batista, Corey Sandhagen fight. That one was a great fight. Mario Batista performed exceptionally well. In my opinion, it's the best I've seen Mario fight maybe ever, even when he was competing for championships. I've described Corey Sandhagen as this guy before. Corey Sandhagen, to me, is this type of dude where he's kind of the gatekeeper of that division. So when you have people like Brandon Moreno and or not Brandon Moreno, sorry. When you have people like Merab, Umar, Sean, all at the top there, those are all people who've beaten Corey Sandhagen. Corey's beaten Song Yadong. Corey's beaten some of these other guys. So, Corey's always been that kind of gatekeeper guy in the bantamweight division. So, for Mario Batista to perform that well against the gatekeeper guy, it proves that he deserves to have maybe another run. Obviously he's going to have to fight somebody. Mario's going to have to fight one of these top 3 in Sean, Umar, and Merab for anything close to a title shot against Petr Yan. But I do think that beating Corey Sandhagen gives you the ticket to fight one of those 3, whether it be Sean, Merab, or Petr Yan, which I think the more likely candidate would be Umar, just because I think you have this kind of fight love triangle going on between Merab, Sean O'Malley, and Jan. And, I think Jan wants his lick back on Sean O'Malley. I think Sean wants to try to take the belt off of Jan. I don't think Sean wants to try to take the belt off of Merab again. But Merab wants his run back against Jan. He feels like he beat Jan. So that's a whole triangle that I think the UFC is playing into those storylines and those that little who can beat who out of these three, and will the title keep rotating between these three? So I think that just leaves Umar Nurmagomedov for the likely candidate that we see fight Mario Bautista next. And we'll see if Mario Bautista if that was a passing of the torch of gatekeepers and Mario Bautista becomes that new float around 5 to 6 in the rankings guy, or if he's at the level now in his career where he can compete with the Umar Nurmagomedovs, the Merab Dvalishvilis, the Piotr Jans, the Sean O'Malley's, and the top tier fighters of the bantamweight division. It's that simple. It's that simple. Royval, Lenore Kavanaugh, another fight that, like the Terrence McKinney one, just pissed me off. I don't want to talk about it. Royval looked good, bro. He wasn't getting hit a lot. He was attacking. Lenore Kavanaugh looked like poop. Like, he looked terrible. Kavanaugh looked terrible. And I hyped, bro, I gassed Lenore Kavanaugh up so heavily going into this fight. I was like, yo, Lenore Kavanaugh is the next star in the flyweight division. He beat up Brandon Moreno. He's going to beat up Royval. He's going to be a stud. Royval dominated that entire fight, man. That entire fight. I think maybe you could give Kavanaugh a round, but Royval absolutely was dominating that entire fight. So, shout out Royval. Shout out. But all in all, about UFC 329, bro, disappointing. Disappointing. It gets a thumbs down. It gets a thumbs down. Conor McGregor. It's so sad. I hate it. It was rough, bro. It was rough. But I mean, yeah, that's enough about the UFC. That is enough about the UFC. Last night was a home run derby. And first of all, never go back to any old format ever. 20 swings is a perfect format. 20 swings, if you hit a home run on your last swing, you keep going until you die. I love the concept and the way that the whole thing was set up. Or 20, I think it was 20 swings only in the first round. I don't fully remember because I kind of started getting lost in it and not watching how many swings at the beginning of the round it was for each round. I'm going to be honest. I was just getting lost and watching them hit bombs. But Jordan Walker gets to play. I can't think of the word. Spoiler. That's what I'm thinking. Jordan Walker gets to play spoiler as he beats Kyle Schwarber in the finals in Philadelphia to win the home run derby. Ben Rice didn't do well. I think Ben Rice hit like 6 home runs if I remember correctly. He hit 7. Ben Rice hit 7 home runs last night. So that was a disappointing thing out of Ben Rice. I would have liked to see a Yankee perform, back like Aaron Judge in 2017 when we were able to see him win the Derby. It's just fun to see your own guys do something like that and have fun, but also succeed while having fun. But nonetheless, Ben Rice comes in last. It happens. He still has 22 home runs in the regular season. The Yankees still have an all-star break going on. They still got trade talks to do. You got people to talk to. Ben Rice, it's okay. It's sad. It's upsetting, but it's okay. But, bro, Jordan Walker, man, was hitting bombs. He was hitting bombs last night. Hit one 409 in the final round. I'm trying to look at the first round who hit the furthest one because I remember I remember Caglione hit one like 470. Yeah, it was 477. Caglione hit one. Like, what? 477. Murakami hit one 466. Ben went 443, then 433, then 440. Like, Caminero went 478, 487. 487, like 487 feet. Trying to get at some of these other big numbers, see if anyone else kind of. Harper hit one 482. Like, man. I think if you could get players back in the Derby, you could bring the Derby back. I think this new format with the 20 swings gives you a chance to get hot, but you could also get tired at the end. You don't get the timeout anymore. I liked it a lot. I very much enjoyed it. So the home run derby last night, as much as Ben Rice not doing well, was disappointing. And congratulations, Jordan Walker, for winning a home run derby. Having your dad pitch to you is just such a great thing. Also, shout out his dad for dare I say Jordan Walker's dad cheats? Yeah, I mean, it's up to you whether you consider this cheating. But yeah, they were using magenta balls, which are they were harder to see against the batter's eye. The pitchers or whoever was pitching for the batters were supposed to use these magenta baseballs for T-Mobile, obviously, all the sponsors. But on that last home run for Jordan Walker when he was hitting, I think it was 5 straight, if I remember correctly, and he needed the one more to win. If you watch the replay, I believe it's his dad pitching for him. His dad picks up a normal baseball. He picks up the white ball. So he could he could track the BP pitch a little better, and he just hammered it. And say what you say what you must. If you want to call it cheating, you can, but I think that's just a dad, taking advantage of the system for his son. The ball shouldn't have been on the bucket then. You know what I mean? He didn't look. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't look. It's what happens. It's a dad helping out his son, trying to help his son do what he wants to do. Yeah. I think that's it today, though. Shorter episode. Been working a lot, so I just didn't have a lot prepared. Not a lot going on baseball wise with the All-Star break and everything. I mean, I can loosely talk Yankees for a little bit, but I am really tired, guys. I'm probably gonna go upstairs, take a nap. I also got a car shop. I gotta live life. So shorter episode today, but thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be back next week talking Yanks. Hopefully they continue this win streak they've kind of been on. They've won 4 straight going into the All-Star break, which I love. That bullpen game against Tampa Bay was huge for the Yankees. That bullpen game for the bullpen game against Tampa Bay for the New York Yankees was exactly what they needed going into the All-Star break to go on a run to fix their season. It's that simple for them. So, the bats were going in that game. You had everyone scoring, and it was a bullpen game, and you only give up 2 runs. That is exactly what the Yankees needed going into the All-Star break, and you saw it in the games in Washington where the bats, they were having a lot better of offense in those games against Washington going into the All-Star break. So I'm looking forward for what comes out of this All-Star break going into the trade deadline and all of that for the New York Yankees. So hopefully that continues for them. All-Star break should be fun. What is the next major UFC event while I can pull it up? UFC 240 would be, or 340, sorry. 340 would be, they're not showing me. Let's just go to UFC's website, right? Events, upcoming. The next numbered UFC event, UFC 330, Islam versus Ian. That's what it is. That's the next numbered event. August 15th, so that's in about a month. So excited for that one as well. We have a couple good fight nights coming up too. Obviously, World Cup going on. You got France playing Spain as we speak. I could give you a live score update on that, actually. Let's get a live score update on the World Cup. Spain up 1-0 at halftime over France in the World Cup semifinals, so that'll be rocking. World Cup finals are on Monday. You have Argentina, England later today, right? Or is the game tomorrow? World Cup schedule. Yeah, tomorrow you got England, Argentina. That'll be fun to watch. You get Messi versus this England team that's been on an insanely good run. I know my girlfriend's watching right now, and she's gonna hate watch both of them. She hates both those teams for various reasons. But yeah, yeah, she's chilling with I know she's watching with the pup. Shout out Button. Shout out Button. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. So thank you guys for watching. If anybody watches this one, I don't know. This might just be a throwaway episode. Who knows? I'm Logan. Follow me on all the socials. They're all should be in the link below. Hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, all that junk. You guys know the deal. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Log Show. I will see you guys next week. Peace out.